Good evening and welcome to Virginia's Views and Vibes. And we are just having a party here tonight, but I'm glad you could join us. My very special guest is Sean Callinan. He is an inventor, he is a world champion archer, and he's an outdoor professional. His motto is, and get this, hang with me long enough and I'll convince you that you can do anything. And he means it, and he does. Welcome, Sean. Thanks for coming tonight.
Glad to be here.
A little wild,
in fact, all I've been through, I'm glad to be anywhere.
That's right. Talk to me about how you are really involved in this. I mean, you're a master of all of this. It's amazing to me. Anything you pick up, whether it's ice fishing, archery, and I don't know the difference between archery and bow, and fishing and fly fishing, you are absolutely a master of all of them. Yes.
I don't know about a master, but what drives me is the curiosity. The curiosity feeds the learning. And to learn as much as I can about it allows me to look at things different, right?
Absolutely.
Maybe take things to a new level, see things different. And so that's what drives me. And it was like that with the ice rescue tool.
Right.
You know, why didn't somebody take that on? And then the curiosity, why didn't anybody solve it? And in studying it and looking at it, I felt, you know what, I think we can do this. And so that curiosity drives me. Even to this day, I'm still as passionate about it as I always was.
You designed that on an airplane.
Well, yeah, I was in Lake George, and I heard siren after siren, and I said, this is not good. And so I went down the street, and they had Glen Lake, it's called, just in Lake George, and somebody went out there speed skating. Now, the problem with ice fishing is if one person goes out, everybody thinks it's safe. Right. So now a lot of people go out. Now we have a situation. Now first responders go out, and we really have a situation. So they went through the ice. First responders went out, they went through the ice. They sent out a hovercraft, and the ice was so thin, it cut the skirt like razor blades. That went down, and so now we got a real situation. And you know, through a miracle, nobody died. But I mean, it was really bad. And so I said, why are kids falling through the ice at the rate they are? We had some warm winters there, and it was just unacceptable to me. And I'm saying, somebody's got to take this on. And I said, rather than try to design something to make somebody shoot better, why don't we look at this different? This is a priority. And so I was heading out to Boning Archery, and we were doing some work on some other products. And I stay at the CEO's house, a very dear friend of mine, sweetest man ever, nicest man, and very bright man. And so I said, I'm going to have this ready. I'm going to draw it. So I drew every line of that 30,000 feet off the ground.
Oh,
and
my God.
I drew it with a iPad, and I have the little pencil there, and I had sketched the whole thing out. And of course, in theory, everything works.
Right.
So I thought I thought what I had was pretty good. And then I airbrushed it and everything, and had a concept sketch and concept design ready, and they just loved it. And we had a working prototype inside of about 2 weeks.
Oh my God! And did it work absolutely the first time after you? Pretty much.
Pretty much. I was fortunate enough to work with Bob Potter, who is a very talented designer from Boning, and many others at Boning. And Bob brought his talents to it, and the Boning team brought their talents, and Kevin Mist is their graphic designer, just phenomenal what he brought to it. And so it just kept adding on. And that's what I mean by the curiosity of, why is this happening, and why didn't anybody else solve this? And so we're going down this road, and quite frankly, I thought it was one of the easiest things I've ever designed. I mean, the whole thing was done in 2 hours, and it took me 2 hours and probably 3 or 4 of those little bags of the peanuts they give you on the flight. I just double fisted them, trying to keep the energy up.
From airplane to when you took it out and tried it, maybe not used it, but tried it, how many weeks?
Maybe a month.
You're kidding.
No, maybe 5 weeks, something like that. Yeah, and of course, through iteration, we found out that we redesigned some things. We wanted that to be able to completely be assembled in the dark. A lot of times, your ice rescues are at night. I need them to be able to put that together. So there's only one way to put it together. It will only go together one way. That's so that you can't make a mistake. You may try something twice, but when you get it right, it goes together, and 15, 20 seconds in the dark. So it's,
So you had training for it? You brought who did you choose first for training?
it's funny. We had no formal training as far as the design end of it. We knew what we had, and it's a challenge because you can't talk, because at the time I didn't have the patent. So it's like sitting on Michael Jackson's, Thriller album, being a DJ, and you can't play it. You're like, I know what I have, and at the same time it was the winter, and another kid went through the ice. So now we've got these kids, passing away and going through the ice, and I'm sitting on this, and it was killing me. And of course, I couldn't share it, and they couldn't share it, and so we had to go through that whole patent process, which can be timely.
When someone falls through the ice, and how much time do they really have? How much time does first responders to get to that person before they're hypothermic and
they're hypothermic and in real trouble in between 7 and 10 minutes, in my opinion, tops. Wow. And most of the people who come have suits that are designed to handle that kind of cold. We're worried more about the victim. What happens with that is, so that ice rescue tool, I'm kind of tethered here with the microphone cord, there we go. So the way it works is, even in an inch of ice, if I push down on like this credit card, the inch of ice would give away. But if I pull against the side, you'll never hurt the side of this credit card, it's too strong. So on thin ice, you're pulling against the side. You're not pulling it straight up when you pull a victim out. So even on thin ice, it works phenomenal. I mean, we've done everything from pull trucks out to, it works. I mean, it really works. You're pulling against the entire lake. And so it works great. Last year, I got stuck out there with my ice castle.
Oh, did you?
And I had the four-wheeler there, and it was just slush. And of course, it's me pushing it, right? I'm out there in late March, and we had like 20 inches of ice, but it was all slush. And so I drilled a hole, put the ice rescue tool in the hole, and hooked it up to the winch. And when I hit the winch, the ice rescue tool pulled me and everything right off the ice.
No way.
So, but the idea behind it is a first responder would, it's called the 80K 3-in-1. And the 80K came from the Adirondacks. That's where my family is from, my mom's family. And so in talking about the name, that was something that was, really important to me. And the 3-in-1 is to spud. So the first thing we do is chisel right at the shoreline. And when you put it in, you pull up against the ice and it measures. Anything less than 4 inches, back out. Now let's go back to Glen Lake. Had that gentleman spudded that hole and saw that it was only 1.5 inches, you prevented a tragedy.
Yes.
And so 1 spud, right? 2 we're going to measure, and 3 is rescue. So that's where the name 3-in-1 comes from. So if I chisel out, I anchor in a foot of water. As I'm walking out, even if I fell through, I can self-rescue.
Yeah.
I don't need anybody else. Now when I get out there, I chisel a second hole, and I pull a pin off my chisel. It's about 5 feet long.
Yep.
I put it in the hole, and it spins. We have a patent on it. It's a cantilever design. So when it goes down the hole, it spins and bites up against the ice. And when you put slack on it, it spins straight and will come right up the hole. Otherwise, you never get out of the hole.
Oh my gosh.
And so
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's funny what your mind does at 2 a.m. in between Clapper commercials and all this stuff. You're like, I can't sleep. I'm trying to. And so you just, the iteration, and like I said, the very talented Bob Potter added so many things to it. And it just went iteration to iteration, and then we had changed some things, and we knew what we had. We did a planned ice rescue up in Lake George, and it was like minus 15. I know when I left the house, it was minus 12, and it was brutal. And we went out there, we pulled 4 people out of the ice, out of the water, and had them on the shoreline in less than a minute.
Oh my God.
And I mean, they were running sleds with the people in them. But the goal was they went out there comfortably because they knew they were anchored no matter what.
Oh my God. So that was how many years ago? You have the patent now, and they are.
We at the time we had the patent pending.
Okay.
So the patent pending meant we're protected. Nobody can steal our homework.
Good. Okay.
And on a funny note, it was at least what I think is funny, and nobody else does, right? I mean, I told it's funny. I mean, my mind is very different, believe me. But I was laughing because people were getting upset. They said, oh my God, the Chinese are copying it and this and that. I said, that's fantastic. And people didn't like it. I loved it because it means you nailed it.
That's
you
right.
nailed it. I mean, if they're copying me, nobody copies a Chevette, they copy a Corvette, right? And so I said, if they're copying me, I love it. I think it's great. Bring it.
So
And
everyone has it now in the United States or in
well,
Mass,
we're
kinda
now
selling it?
they're now selling it. I mean, we had to wait until we had the patent, and then you got to get on the state buying list, and there's all kinds of
Hoops.
There are, and so I know Border Patrol has used it. I know national parks. There's a lot of groups that are you know, whether they're purchase it, trying to purchase it. We're trying to get through that bureaucratic sales situation, and you know, the boning team is handling it. So we have so many patents on it that you couldn't do anything without going through us. So I'm excited that it's there. I'm excited that it works. You know,
And that you're saving lives. I mean, that's amazing.
yeah, you
It
know,
really is.
yeah.
Every year, you know, every winter we hear, even this far south, someone fell through the ice. They were chasing their dog and they died.
Right.
They lost them. So that's amazing.
And that's the thing, like we do some really neat stuff in the outdoors, right? We design some great stuff, and you've seen the prototypes, and I sneak around when I'm out ice fishing because a lot of times I have prototypes people can't see or something like that, right? And so, you know, the people closest to me know that, you know, and I get into sneak mode where I have to do archery with testing arrows, tapered arrows that are fatter at the front and thinner at the back, and they actually swim pretty wild. So we have these patents and we can't show anybody. And it was nice to do something to save a life like my life was saved. And so rather than have somebody shoot a higher score that isn't going to necessarily change a life, I felt strongly that enough's enough. This needs to be a priority.
Yeah, absolutely. So you grew up in the Adirondacks.
Well, yeah, my mom's from the Adirondacks, so every Lake George specifically, we still have a home up there, and I was just up there this week, and I look like I do because I dragged a deer out of there. So you're up in the mountains, right? But anyway.
People do hunt.
Yes.
And it's very natural.
And much of the meat goes to the Hunters for the Hungry program to help people through the winter that otherwise, you know, would struggle.
Starve, yeah.
But the up there, you know, you hunt, you fish, you ice fish, and you're cutting your teeth on really strong, really tough conditions. Everything up there's tough.
It gets cold early up there.
It does, and I mean, you know, some of the ponds were skimmed over when I was up there. The bigger lakes, the coves will start to skim over. So you're usually on the ice up there by Thanksgiving, depending on where you are. But anyway, it's any chance I got, I spent up there. I mean, I had, you know, whether it be summer vacations, school vacations, all that stuff, and
Really?
that's where I spent all my. That's where everything came from, and that's why that 80K meant so much to me.
Yeah.
Can we bring this back home and kind of like a legacy to my family. In fact, when we announced it, we had a party, and it was very important to boning, and I'll never forget it. You know, again, Larry Griffith, who's a dear friend, I mean, you know, wanted to have it up in Lake George, so we had it in downtown Lake George, and the closest people to me and to us, and then the fire departments came that tested the tool. And their North Queensbury is probably one of the most decorated ice rescue teams in the country. And they carry two of them on. They have a hovercraft, and they have a picture of a guy carrying it on the front of the hovercraft. It's really cool. They sent me a picture of it. It warmed my heart because I said just knowing that they believe in it meant a lot to me.
You're on Facebook, so people can see you on Facebook, right?
Yes.
So Sean Callanan, Callanan.
That's it.
And like his page and go on. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. He did something this winter for an old friend, and we had a birthday party for an 85-year-old gentleman. And talk a little bit about that, because you showed him everything. It was amazing. He was amazed, and we all were amazed.
Well, he was, Dom was 85, and Dom is the guy that really lived vicariously on my adventure. So he'd say, I want to go to Kilimanjaro, and I'm going to hike, and then we'd wind up walking the state park pet path. You know, he always scaled these things back, right? So he wanted to go ice fishing, and you pushed him to go, which was great, because it would have never happened without you and your husband, George.
Yep.
So I have my ice castle out in Winnipesaukee, out in the middle of one of the bays, and it's like a transformer. It goes out, and then the wheels go up, and it lays down flat. And I mean, you have a stainless steel kitchen, bathroom.
It is amazing.
Isn't it?
I have to, and
75
you do
degrees.
courses out there, so if you get a chance, go. It is amazing. You have to snowmobile out to it, and then when you see it, it's like, I was kind of expecting a little fish house, you know.
Yeah.
Those
Fireplace.
Yeah, as you walk in, and it's heated, and there's TVs everywhere.
And you see the fish on the TV. You
Yes.
see the fish from by
Yeah,
on the TV.
you see
So
them- yeah.
those are all things I've wired in. So I did a lot of work. I designed that whole thing, and I
can
did it.
tell.
Yeah, I did it because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. I wanted the thing just right. But I brought Dom in the ATV, and he had this like Vulcan death grip around my neck, and I'm saying, 85 years old, he's holding on the ATV for dear life, and I had this thing sticking me in the back. I'm saying, oh my God, he's 120 pounds soaking wet. What is this thing in my back? Anyway, when he got off, he unzipped his coat and pulled out a bottle of wine. I was getting the wine bottle, and that was Dom's priority. He wanted the wine,
That's right.
charcuterie board. He
Yep.
had it all laid out,
gonna
and
love that, yeah.
cheese and crackers and everything. And I think the greatest thing, we caught a lot of fish.
You did, yes.
We snuck off the ice to go for pizza,
That
and
was
my
really
son Carter really loved your idea. Go for pizza, great idea, So you talked me into leaving the baits
I know, which
in
was a mistake.
in the hole. We have rattle reels inside, and they have lights on them when a fish bites. So of course we go for pizza, we come back, and all the rattle reels like a Ferris wheel, and they were all firing up. And the fish were in Alton Bay by the time I got to hook them and bring them back. They were miles away, but it was a lot of fun. And I think
He loved it.
we
Dom loved
lost
it.
Dom on July 11th this year, and one of the greatest things was, he had told me, and he told his brother number 10, it was one of the best days of his life. And it brings me a lot of satisfaction to know that,
I'm so glad you could do that for him. I really am. We had talked
We
about
did that for him. He wouldn't have gone if it wasn't for you and George. He was always a couple of adverbs away
Yeah.
from going, a couple of conjunctions. I'll get there, I promise. You forced him to go,
Yeah.
and he said, going off the ice, I'm doing this again. I'm doing it again.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
he loved
did.
it. The
He
whole way
did
home, he
love
was telling you.
Oh yeah, and then he was making plans to try and hunt with you, and but he couldn't say no because I knew it was his birthday, and I said I have a birthday gift for you, and you have to say yes because it's your birthday gift, and I told him George and I are driving you up to Lake Winnipesaukee, you're gonna ice fish, and he said, well I have to see. I said no, it's a birthday gift, you have to go, and we'll drive up. You just have to get in the car. So we came out that one in his little hat and all bundled up, and he's looking to fish and drink wine, and George is looking, oh, this fish, this is cool. I'll learn something, and I'm in with tea and cookies. So that's how nice it is inside. It's very welcoming. I felt very comfortable there, which again,
It's
you have a
75
big-
degrees. It's so warm in
It
there.
is.
And, I mean,
It
it's
was.
amazing. The bathroom in there is just super. And it twists like a diaper genie, and then it seals so you don't get any smell, and it goes down
Yes.
into the
Oh,
floor.
yeah, yes, this is the bathroom, and again, it's very comfortable because you're in a nice house, but it was unbelievable. Do you want to talk a tiny bit about your new project, or not quite yet? The ladies,
Well,
what
it's
we're thinking, you're kind of thinking about.
well, it's funny. You were part of this. Yeah. So I do these shows at Bass Pro, and Bass Pro does an amazing job doing these card nights. And so I had a group of ladies who, have asked me, when are we doing something for the women? And I feel like we do these great educational projects,
Yeah.
but women somewhat convinced me. I'm pretty convinced this might, have to happen, but they want to have their own day. They feel
Yes.
like we can't ask questions. They feel like the guys take over their day. They feel like they're suppressed a little bit. And so I said,
In a good way.
yeah, but
It is in a
right.
way.
But I said, I'll listen, So listening became, he's going to do it. And now he's going to do it. And then they started a tournament. And so I was thinking, and we're still working,
Yeah.
we're still working on this, but we're looking at doing something in New Hampshire, whether it be on Lake Winnipesaukee or one of the lakes regions, and maybe doing something where we put 5 women on one team and 5 women on another team, and we'll drill the holes and spend a day teaching them. It's more important to me on the education side that they
Absolutely.
learn how to do this, enjoy it, learn it safely, and then we'll rotate the holes every hour so everybody gets a chance and there's not one quote-unquote hot spot. So I did have a couple of women reach out to me that said, I live on the lake, I'd like to potentially host this. So I would ask that, they go through you, only because my phone blew up. I must have got 50 texts and it's like, and I'm booked pretty solid for this year. And we still have room to take more, but with all that's going on, I said, you know what, I'll do this. We'll do a day. We'll do something. And, we'll charge each of the women some small fee, and we'll get out and do a real, it's funny because one of the women said to me the other day on the phone, this is like totally badass. And I said, it is badass. It is.
Yeah.
It's fun. So I don't know.
My friend Nora is eager to go, and Sandy.
Yes.
So they will be there. Aside from that, you do a ton of other things. One is out in the woods, you do survival kind of thing, and hiking and being able to, save yourself or find your way and all of that. You do those kind of classes in hunting. Kind of combine hunting with that?
Well, I think my first goal is to train people in GPS. So that's a real easy day, and I booked up real strong this fall with that. Did a lot of work with some of the U.S. Army, and
Really?
Well, they were out of a local reserve kind of unit, and they hired me on their own, just saying.
Oh, wow.
We know a little bit, but my goal is to make it where I can get you in a pizza box anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And we will do that. And so I think one of the greatest compliments I ever got is one of my clients did a nice reel on Facebook saying, I went in, I didn't know anything about it, and I don't even need Sean anymore. And then he felt bad, and I felt good. I'm saying, that's exactly why I call my guide business Schooled Outdoors. My goal is to school you so that these women ice fishing can walk away and say, I've got this.
Right.
I know how to get on the ice safe. I know how to assess safe ice. I can learn how the fish, I took a woman out last year a number of times. She got really good, really good. And so it's exciting to see somebody develop.
Well, like I say, your motto was hanging with me long enough, because I remember one of the things you did teach just very quickly at Pizza, self-defense, just self-defense course, which I think is great too, along with the hiking and the hanging out in the woods with a professional. You can tell I'm ready. But that's important too, because whenever women go out alone, your immediate thought is, I need to be able to protect myself, at least for me. And going out in the woods especially, and I have a tendency, I get lost easy, I really do. I would have to have a compass, or learn how to use it, or whatever, the Garmin. I would absolutely, and I'm not alone. There are a lot of people that you met tonight that have gotten lost in hikes.
That's right. And I mean, to answer the self-defense real quick, it's, I was trained in what they call rapid assault training, RAT. They call it RAT training, rapid assault. And the idea is there is no fight. In other words, I end it before it starts, and I've shown you, in other words, you don't want to get in a fight, I end it, and we end it quick. And the idea is to restrain quickly. But the idea and the reason that came up when we were training was people carry a gun, and you really shouldn't carry a gun until you're ready to defend it. In other words, if somebody gets a hold of your gun, you can die at the hands of your own gun that was designed to protect you. And so, and then on the navigation side, I carry a Garmin Montana, which is just the most amazing GPS. Now, those are satellite. So a caution to people, that are out there listening, they carry a cell phone and they have these $5 apps, these silly apps. I lose cell service in Newton.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to go up to the Twin Mountains or up into,
right.
the White Mountains, you're crazy, all right? Now, these handheld devices, Garmin really owns the industry, and so I do a half-day course. It's very inexpensive. It's $150 a person.
Really?
It sells out very quick. Usually I like to do groups of 2 or 3, and friends go, and in fact, I just had 3 women go the other day, and so they were hikers, okay, and they got lost, and they got close enough to be scared to death, and then said somebody told them call Sean, and so they did, reached out to me through Facebook, and so, but you have a satellite-driven GPS, okay, and I also carry a compass and a map. And so with a compass, I can get you inside of probably 15-foot square, something like that. Definitely within a couple of parking spaces, somewhere thereabouts usually. And the other thing is I can find something, and that's what I try to do, train you that you're lost, where you are,
Yeah.
How do I go from here?
Don't
So I've
panic.
got to identify something, whether it be a pond, whether it be a creek coming into the pond. You know, start taking a pond, then the creek coming into the pond, and then use the sun. You know how the sun goes
Yep.
from, right? And it
I
goes from
remember
east
you
to west, and I
explaining that.
taught you that.
Yep.
And I can get you exactly, now we haven't done anything yet. That's just going from the map and what
Yeah.
we see. And then I'm going to say it's 135 degrees out of here. And that'll, like that. And a compass is $30, very inexpensive,
Yeah.
but I carry both.
Yeah, and really quick, because I think we have 3 minutes left. When you're out in the woods, you should always be prepared by bringing like water, right? Carry water, something to stay warm, and a compass, correct? Or
I carry a backpack with a lot more
Yep.
than that, but I think the first thing is I want a GPS because we now have InReach on the GPS, which is I can hit an SOS button. Garmin has a 24-hour response team. They will reach back out to me, satellite text, and they'll say, Sean, what is the nature of your emergency? And I say, Ginny fell down and she hurt herself real bad. They'll immediately deploy the nearest rescue team, and they will stay in touch with me. Satellite now the whole time. Your cell phone is useless out there. And so that's first. The backpack, there's a lot of things I keep in there. Space blanket is very important. Water is very important. I carry a tourniquet, things like that. Stuff you don't think of.
there's like 2 minutes left. So I want you to get out your Facebook page, how to get a hold of you, and we can see more of you. Facebook is excellent, by the way. I've been on that. So you got the last two. Go ahead.
Well, Facebook, it's Sean Callanan, and it's Callanan.
That'll be on my page, by the way.
Yep, and I also have Schooled Outdoors and Guide Service, and I need to be spending more time on those pages, but I'm out in the woods or on the water or on the ice almost every day now, and so, you know, I'm out there, I'll get back to you literally within a day. But in this time of year, I run a few of those ice fishing specials. They get me in trouble. I mean, I only had, you know, 10 days, and we sold them out in less than 8
Oh my
hours.
gosh.
So now the women want a day, and they want me to put a special up. I don't know if that, you know, if and
It'll
when.
happen.
It'll happen, but I don't know.
Making. And you will do self-defense classes or not
I don't
really
know.
right now, or
Well, I
At some
mean,
point in
here's
the
the,
future.
yeah, here's the thing. Right now, I'm up to my antlers and the deer
Yeah.
hunting, right? And then I'm going to go from that to the ice fishing. So I won't come up for air till almost
Yeah.
April.
I know, my gosh.
And self-defense is not that I really wanted to teach. It's something that people come to me because I do a lot of the firearms training, and I
that's
stress
right.
so much that you have to protect that weapon. I see people put them in, you know, women put them in a purse and then leave the purse over here,
Right.
and then they forget their purse. You just left the loaded gun
Right.
behind. So
Right.
I'm a big believer that that should be on you, and you should be ready and willing to defend that right now.
If you carry a gun, you have to be prepared to use it. It has to be loaded. It's not going to help you if the bullet has to say, "Excuse me, can I just
Yeah.
chamber this?" So you have to be prepared. If you're not, then you need to know self-defense, and you need to bring, if nothing else, pepper spray. But you have to be able to defend yourself. You have to be ready.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of many of the pepper sprays. I will give you this advice. I like to use the bear spray because it's foam. And the foam will shoot 30 feet, and the foam will stick to your face. So if I put mace, a lot of times it'll spray back at me.
Right.
But if I use the foam, it sticks to their face, and you just completely took that person out. And they'll be fine. But in the meantime, you've
You
got
run.
a lot of time to get out of
A lot
there.
of time, right. So they're saying wrap up. So with that, get bear spray if anything else. If nothing else, get
Foam bear spray.
Foam bear spray. Look up Sean. I'll have his information on my page. Thanks for joining us, Sean. We'll be back. Thank you.